Hey everyone, in this tutorial we are going to learn how to model a few more double curvature masses. We will start by ESET Campus by Big, which is this building. So let's start. So we will start by going to the top view. So double click to maximize the top view. And let's use the layout as a reference. So I'm going to drag and drop the layout, choose picture, and let's place it. So there is a scale bar here. So I'm going to scale this photo. So I'm going to select the image, then you choose scale. You can choose scale 2D or 3D. I choose scale 3D and select the first point and second point. So the length of this line should be 100. So I'm going to type 100 meter, then press enter. So now it is with the right scale. So we can go to the properties and go to the material and reduce the transparency. So maybe set the transparency to 40%, then select the photo again and type lock, or we can lock it from the visibility. And we can choose a 2-point rectangle or 3-point rectangle if we are going to want to draw it with length and width. So for example, this is a 3-point rectangle. I'm going to draw the length. So you can see here the value of the length. Let's type 28 and here like this. Or we can just use this photo as a reference and choose 2-point rectangle and start drawing rectangle like this. So you now know the two methods to draw rectangle. I'm pressing the right click to bring the last command again. And I'm using the right click as enter too. Okay, now we draw all the rectangles. I'm going to select all the rectangles and type bounding box and press enter. This will create this bounding rectangle between all of them. And then I'm going to offset it maybe 5 meters and delete this one. It broke the history, but it's fine. So now I'm going to select this one, double click to minimize the view and double click to go to the perspective. And I'm going to create a surface from planar curves from this rectangle. Then I'm going to select this surface and type rebuild to change the number of control points of the surface. I'm going to set it to 6 in the U and 6 in the V direction and press OK. It broke the history, but it's fine anyway. Now I will move this up maybe 6 meters or maybe 5 meters. Okay, now let's select the surface and press F10 to open the control points. Okay, before doing so, we are going to isolate the surface so we don't select any of this rectangle by mistake, and I'm going to switch to the ghost mode, select surface, press F10 to open the control points, and start selecting the control points. Hold shift to be able to select multi points at the same time and start adjusting the surface a little bit. Select this one, move them up a little bit. Okay, we will keep adjusting the control point, but before doing so, I want to do something. So I'm going to unlock everything, switch to the wireframe. So I'm going to project these curves. Let's just look this reference surface. Type project, or you can choose this from here, which is this one, and select all these curves. Right click and then select this surface to project. All these rectangles have been projected to this surface, and since we were recording history, if I move this, the curves are going to move with it. And now we are going to create a loft between this one and this one. So press loft, select this curve and this curve, and make sure to select them from the same side, and right click, so enter. Okay, now let's create a loft between these two curves for all the rectangles. So press right click to bring the command again, select this curve, and right click, and so on. Okay, now we will select the surface and isolate it, so we don't select anything other thing by mistake, and press F10, and now we can adjust our design as we want. And all these blocks are going to be updated based on this surface. We can switch to the ghost mode. We can hide the isocurve of this surface. Then, and let's keep adjusting. I want to align all these points together, so I'm going to select all of them and type set point, and just choose Z direction and align them like this. Okay, and after we finish adjusting everything and make sure that the design meets all the requirements, we can unlock everything. And before doing so, I want to show you something. If we want to move, for example, this rectangle need to change, as you can see, we can just changing it and everything is going to be updated. Of course, there are some errors that might happen here, but there is no problem. We can just delete this and recreate the loft. And now we can start adjusting everything again. I will press just Ctrl Z. We can move the rectangles or like this, scale it, and the design will update. This is why a record history is very useful. Anyway, after we finish adjusting the design, now I want to create the roof of the surface. We will trim this extra part. So I'm going to select everything, hold Alt, and copy everything away. And I'm going to delete the history of this part. So I'm going to use Purge History Purge, and select this object, right click. Now let's trim. So select the cutting object, right click, and the surface. And we can now select everything and press Ctrl J and select everything again and type cap to close the base. Sides curves, and here we go. We have our masses. And to delete the curves, we can select everything, isolate, and type select curve and delete the curve of this object. Okay, now let's try to model this building. It is Gallery of Xing Kiln Museum by YCA. Okay, let's start. So I will just hide everything here, select everything and press Ctrl H. Let's double click here and double click in the top view to maximize the top view. I will start by importing the layout. So drag and drop the picture and let's place it within scale. And now we are going to use this scale bar to scale it. So I'm going to use scale 3D, select this point, second point, and type 20. So now it is with the right scale. I will select it and lock it so we don't move it by mistake. Can lock it from here. And now I will start by drawing circles. And as you can see, all these circles are tangent to each other. So I will start by drawing any circle, maybe this one, or maybe the circle, the large circles that all of them are inside. And I'm going to use two point circle. So I'm going to select this point and then this point. Let's move it a little bit to make sure it is in the right position. Okay, let's choose a circle, and from here press T, or choose here from here tangent, and draw another circle here, and press right click to finish the command. So now we want to draw a circle, this one, which is tangent between this circle and this circle. So right click to bring the command again, press T or choose tangent, and select point here and another point here. Then press right click to finish the command. So right click to bring the command again, select a point, choose tangent, select point here, and another point here, then right click, and so on. Right click to bring the command again, right click to bring the command again, press T or choose tangent, select point here and another point here, right click to finish the command, same thing, press T, enter, point here, and another point here. Right click to bring the command again, choose tangent, select point here, another point here, and another point here. Right click to bring the command again, choose tangent, select point here, and another point here. So now that we have all our circles, I want to determine the center of each one of them. So I'm going to the O snap and open the center and type point, and let's draw a point inside in the center of each circle. So here, right click to bring the command again, and here let's move around the circle until it snap to the center, and click, and let's repeat this again for the other circles. Okay, now that we have our circles and our center, we are going now we will need to draw a profile here. So I'm going to draw a reference line here. Press tab to fix the movement in this direction. Control tab to switch between views. So I hold control and press tab to switch between views. I want to go to the perspective view, so I will keep switching until we go to the perspective view. Let's zoom here. Now I will draw a line here in the Z. So in Rhino 8, you can draw in the Z direction in the perspective view. As you can see, this blue reference line. So let's draw a reference line here. Press tab to fix a movement in the Z direction, and the height may be 30 meters. Then left click and right click to finish the command. So make sure that always record history is set on. I'm going to select this line and type revolve, or you can select it from the surface tools, which is this one, and select this center and draw on the axis in the Z section. Right click, make sure it's 160 degree, and right click again. So now, since we're recording history, we can select this profile and rebuild. Set the points to 4 and degree to 3. And if we now start adjusting the points, as you can see, the surface will update. So we can keep adjusting our design. So I will copy this profile, or maybe just draw lines. So I will repeat these processes in all the other circles. Step, draw another profile here. Let's copy file and make sure record history is on. Type revolve, select the profile, right click, get the axis, set the degree to 360, and so on. Okay, now after we drawed all the surface, I'm going to select all the surfaces and press lock to lock all of them. Now select all the profiles and type rebuild. Set the control points okay to 4 and degree to 3, 10, and let's keep adjusting everything. Maybe select this one, double click to move the gumball, move it down here and start scaling. Line, moving this like so. So I get the idea. We will keep adjusting the control points until it match the design requirements. Let's switch to the ghost mode. We can double click to move the handle. Okay, and finally, if we want to determine a specific length for this curve, we can use a scale 1D. For example, select this point and snap to the Z. Press tab to fix the movement in Z direction and go until we align it with this point. So for example, here, down here, you can see the length, it's 8.1. If we want to make it 8, we can just type 8 and press enter. Let's do it again in another object, maybe this one. Select, select the curve, choose scale in one direction, select the base point, snap to the Z, press tab to fix the movement in the Z direction, snap to the top point, and here we go. We can type the length maybe 4 meter, 4.5, and left click. We can do this to all the other objects, or we can adjust it from the front view. Here, we can open the project and select the curve, and also choose scale one in one direction, press tab, and maybe type here 15 meter, for example. And you can keep adjusting that in the front view too. This one needs a few more adjustment. Select the curve. I want to add a few more control points, so let's build it. Or we can add control points from here. Let's insert nodes. So let's add a control point here, maybe. Okay, after the design is adjusted, we can select everything, unlock, and select all the objects, hold Alt to copy them, and then select everything and press Cap to close the top. And that's it. Okay, now let's try to model this building, which is Elbphilharmonie in Hamburg by Herzog and de Meuron. So let's start. So let's start by hiding this object. So I'm going to select all this object and press Ctrl H to hide them, or we can hide them from here. And double click here to minimize the perspective, and double click to maximize the top view. And I'm going to drag and drop the layout. And let's going to scale it too. So there is a scale bar here. I'm going to choose scale 3D, select this point and the second point, and here's the length. Here should be 10 meters, so I'm going to type 10 and press enter, or right click. Let's lock the image, so type lock, or we can lock it from here. And now let's start by drawing the curves. So make sure that the ortho is open. Let's draw curve here, another one here, and right click. Then right click to bring the polyline command again and draw a line here. Then a line connecting these 2 points and right click. So now let's close the ortho and right click to bring the polyline again and start drawing these other lines. So draw a line here, right click to finish the command and right click to bring it again. Alright, line here, right click to bring the command again and draw a line here. And you get the idea. We will keep drawing these lines, and I'm pressing right click to bring the command again and using it instead of enter. Make sure to make that all of these points intersect in this same point. Now I'm going to exclude these 2 polylines, so select them and exclude them from here. And I want to split these lines in the intersection points, which is in these intersections. So I'm going to type split, or you can select split from here. This one, split. Select this one, this one, this one, and right click. Then select all these curves. Then right click. So as you can see, everything has been splitted. Now double click to minimize the top view and double click to maximize the perspective. So to create these surfaces, we are going to use the command surface from 2, 3, or 4 edges. So I'm going to select all of this. First of all, I will move all these curves up a little bit, maybe 80 meters. Now select all these curves and choose surface from 2, 3, or 4 edges. And select all these edges and right click to bring the command again, and so on. Select all this, right click to bring the command again, select all of this, right click to bring the command again. Here, select all this, right click to bring the command again, and so on. So now we have our surface, but as you can see, all the surfaces are flat because the curves are flat. So I'm going now to select all these surfaces and lock them, and select the curves and rebuild. So I'm going to rebuild everything. There's a control point 4 and the degree is 3. Okay, then press F10 and let's start adjusting the control point. As you can see, as we change the control point, the surface is updated. So we can keep adjusting the control points until it matches our design. So I think these curves need to go down a little bit. These two. Hold Control to deselect some points, and hold Shift to select multi points at the same time. Move all these curves down a little bit like this. Okay, I will come back and keep adjusting the control points, but first I want to draw another line here for the wall. So I'm going to draw a line here, and let's open the ortho to snap to the Z direction. Press tab to fix the movement in Z direction, and draw maybe a line here with a length of 50 meters. Let's take this line and copy it in all the edges like this. Now select all of them, press F10, and now we want to align all these points in the same Z position. So I'm going to type set point and check only the Z direction, and let's align all of them to this one maybe. Okay, let's draw another line here. Let's choose line from here. Let's just use single line, not polyline, and draw a line here. Right click to bring the command again, draw another line here and another line here. Now I will select all of this and use surface from planar curves. Okay, surface here. Same thing here, select this and right click to bring the command again. Same thing here, select all of this, right click to bring the command again. And same thing here, right click to bring the command again. Now we can lock, select all these objects and lock them too. And to create the base, I will select all of this object. I will select all of this object and create a surface. Let's move this surface down maybe 5 meters. Okay, block the instrument is fine. Let's extrude it a little bit and select Control Shift to select the face, set point to Z, and hold Control Shift to select this face. And let's duplicate the edge. So we have this edge. Let's offset this edge by a value of 5 meters maybe. Then let's extrude this one by the value of 5 meters. I think all of these parts need to move up a little bit, maybe 10 meters. Let's select Control Shift to select this one and set point. Then align it with this one. I'm just trying to adjust the proportions of the shape. Okay, I think the best way to create the part in the base is to, let's just delete this one and delete this one, select this curve and type set point, make it to Z and make sure copy is on. So please press here in copy and set it to the XY plane. Then let's create a loft to this curve, this one. So now if I select all these curves and this part and move them down a little bit, maybe 10 meters, as you can see, the surface has updated with them. So I think this need to move up a little bit, maybe 5 meters, something like this. And now let's select all these curves. So let's type select curves. I don't want also to select this curve in the base, so hold Control and select this one. And let's isolate everything. So now select the curves, all these curves in the top, and press F10. And let's keep adjusting the curves to match the design. So I think all of this need to move up like this. Why this planar surface hasn't updated? Okay, as you can see, if I moved this point here, some few points, this line also has changed because when I copied, I didn't purge the history. So let's just break the history. This one maybe and this one too by just moving them. So now everything's fine. All these edges don't depend on the ones that I used to copy them. Let's start adjusting the design. I think this need to move up a little bit. This one too. We can change the alignment of the gimbal by set it to the object to be able to move it in this slope line like this. Okay, after we make sure that it meets the design requirement, we can unlock everything and select surface. Hold Control to deselect this one. Hold Shift to select this other view, and hold Alt to copy. And press Cap. Broke the but it's fine. To cap this one. So this surface are following the edge, but I want to adjust this surface a little bit more. So I'm going to select this surface and isolate them. Press F10 and let's go to the wireframe. So I might need to move this point a little bit up like this. It will break the history of course, but it's fine. Let's switch to the ghost mode. These points need to move up a few more. This one and this one. Same thing here. So this one, hold Shift to select the other points and let's move them up a little bit. We can only adjust the point in the center. If I change the point here, the curve is not going to follow, the surface is not going to follow this curve. So we can only move this 4, or we can add few control points, or we can add note like this and start adjusting the surface. But I don't need, only the 4 points in the middle are more than enough. So after adjusting the surface, the curvature of the surfaces, we can unlock everything and select all this part and Ctrl J to join, or we can join them from here and then type cap to close the hole here. Let's highlight the curve. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you later.